Sort of like rainbows have distinct bands of colors, some of the planets in our solar system also contain quite spectacular bands running from left to right. These planets are the four Jovian planets, which are the four outer planets of the solar system, that is to say Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. They have hydrogen atmosphere filled with clouds. Most impressively, on Jupiter, these clouds form distinct shapes and patterns. In this lesson, we'll delve into what these regions are called and why they occur. Jupiter's upper atmosphere is clearly divided into parallel striations found at different latitudes. These striations are of different colors because they have slightly different chemical compositions and they have slight temperature differences between them. This kind of reminds me of the meeting of the waters near Manaus in Brazil. Here, two branches of water have two different colors because of the difference in the chemical compositions between them. When the two branches meet, they initially stay separated thanks to this as well as their temperature differences. Anyways, the lighter colored bands in the Jovian planets are called zones, and the darker colored bands are called belts. Since most belts you wear are probably darker in color, it'll be easy to remember which one is which. The atmospheric circulation that results in the formation of zones and belts on Jovian planets is known as belt-zone circulation. This circulation is driven by pressure differences and the process of convection, where hot gas or liquid rises up, cools, and then sinks back down just like in boiling water. Temperature measurements have shown that the dark belts are hotter than the lighter colored zones. This implies that the belts are lower in the planet's atmosphere than the zones. Additionally, high winds circulate near the high pressure areas, the zones, and the low pressure areas, the belts. This helps explain the cool animation on the screen. While Jupiter has the most fantastic examples of bands and zones, Saturn has belt zone circulation as well. It's just not as visible compared to Jupiter because the belts and zones occur deeper in its atmosphere. Also, these belts and zones are hidden below a bit of methane haze, which makes it even more difficult to see anything. On Uranus, it's hard to see any belts and zones without computer enhancement, but they're definitely there, as the image on your screen proves. Methane clouds on Neptune certainly help to provide a more visible belt zone circulation pattern than on Uranus, even without the need for computer enhancement. And so, the four Jovian planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, all have something known as belt zone circulation. Belt zone circulation is the atmospheric circulation which results in the formation of zones and belts on Jovian planets. The lighter colored bands are called zones, and the darker colored bands are called belts. The belts have higher temperature and are thus located lower in the atmosphere, closer to the heat-generating core, while the cooler zones are located higher in the atmosphere.